Okay, we're back with this. I'm still feeling pretty sick at the moment, but I haven't done a video for a while. So, I'm going to try and do this. This is probably a bad idea. But let's get through this. So, I finished putting it all together. I just glued these things onto the bottom. And that seems to be okay for display purposes. I wouldn't do too much pushing around. And that's all glued in place. I used one of these things here to hold the middle part down. That I think was quite a good idea. So I clamped it overnight, whoops, shot it off over the table, and everything's going crazy, and I still got a spare nail, so we've got this variety of paints. I'm just going to ignore what there was on there. I was going to get that Lego plane out, but it's too far away. I feel pretty terrible still. When I get colds, I sometimes get them for quite a while, so I'm probably going to go back and do a certain Lego set tomorrow, just so that I have something quick to do each day until I have regained my strength. So what colours should we paint this? Should we get the box out? I don't know, because that's the point where like when I looked at the front cover I thought it looked pretty rubbish, but I feel like it's just because the painting's a bit weird, but I guess that kind of makes sense. Maybe I should do it blue and then green on the top, just to spice it up. So just open this up. I'm not entirely sure the paint is fine, but it's looking pretty good. And there's my little water container, and it's got water, which looks a bit gross, but that's okay. And let's get into this. Just mix it all up and paint. So I don't know if this is a very good video. This is just me going paint, and not being able to talk, but maybe it's therapeutic to watch somebody sitting there painting a plane with a very small paint. I feel like I should be using a bigger paintbrush. And I feel like, whoops, I've painted the propeller. Because you definitely want the propeller to be a different colour, because otherwise it's not going to look so good. Oh, this is probably not going to work. This paintbrush is, no wonder it's not very well painted on the front cover. You'd have to spend hours doing that. So we're just going to do one quick paint job, and then if I feel inclined, I think I'll do this myself, away from the spotlights and the glitz of the camera. Oh gosh. Yeah. Like I can do things at the moment, but I think just talking a lot, it's hard. It is hard. My brain is actually feels like it's getting hotter just by talking. So it could just be the light. Who knows? I do feel better than I did 2 or 3 days ago, so I haven't made a video for the last 2 days, I think, or 3 days, which is not so good because I'm supposed to make one every day, but I've got a backlog. I haven't finished uploading the videos I've got, so nobody will notice if I manage to catch back up again. Well, you won't notice because I'll still keep posting videos every day, because I'm sure by the time I catch up, I'll be fine. I think it's about 4 days away if I didn't make any videos. I think I got 4 waiting to be. What colour is the tail? It doesn't have a picture. It doesn't in the picture. Should it be the same colour as the plane? Maybe. It's very hard to tell. Like not being a plane engineer, I guess a plane engineer doesn't really know. I mean, I think that's probably left up to the end user. I certainly know. I've got toothache. I don't think it's actually, well, it seems to have gone away. I don't think it's actually anything from among my teeth. It's because I've got blocked sinuses. But anyway, what I was saying is that they do paint, different people paint planes different ways. So I wouldn't think it was the plane designer who had that choice. Because they might be like, well, no, it has to be painted red because red goes faster than all the other colours, and otherwise, it's just going to go slow. It's all about air drag or wind drag or something. So that's just a true fact. Which makes me think. I mean, just basically my life recently has been doing a lot of those code cracker puzzle things where you have to work out. Well, it's like a crossword, but I should have brought the book with me. But there aren't really any clues. There aren't any clues. There's still words though, but you just have to work it out because it shows you that, the 9 means a T or something, and an E is a 5, and so on for each letter of the alphabet, and they give you a couple of them to start off with, and then you have to work out what the rest of the letters are. And I quite like those puzzles, but it's been in my head a lot. And when I think of red, because I have like synesthetic. I don't think it's a condition. I'm not calling it a condition. It just happens to be how I do things. Is that when I think of numbers and letters, of course, they will have associated colours, and it's just like I just think of that. I can't sort of not do it. And S is very much a red. It's very red. It's not very red, but it's red. An orangey red, a poppy red, like this red. Well, it's not poppy red. I don't really know exactly what poppy red is, but I just remember when I was a kid. It's like Segway and something different. When I was a kid, there was like a colour catalogue. You know those ones. They have all the little squares, and you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's what paints look like. And yeah, poppy red was one of them, and that's what I wanted this little bookcase thing painted. Not a bookcase, I don't know. It's a little stand. What do they call those little stands that can hold things that sit next to your bed? Right. That's that part done. The blue's done. That was not as slow as... Oh, we missed a bit. I guess you've got to paint this, but I feel like that bit should probably be painted just the same colour as the propeller. The thingies at the back. Now I've got excess. So I just fill in the bits. Oops, I missed. Because I didn't quite do that very well. I missed a bit there. Right. And I think I have a very small piece of that particular item of furniture that I just mentioned left, because it has since been destroyed. Right. And we're going to do red for the wings, because I know that's what the box says, but that's probably the coolest colour to do. But maybe you should do red for like the bottom ring and yellow for the top. Well, yeah, I think yellow for the bottom ring and red for the top is probably the coolest way of doing this. You can see where all the glue is. So it does look poppyish reddish, but there's like mixed in bits of red there. Like, it's a bit like, what? Where is that little dark stuff coming from? That's a bit ominous. It actually looks like fake blood red, but like the red blood, the colour that isn't really what blood ever is actually colour. Well, at least my blood isn't. But you kind of would think it was blood if someone had said it was blood, but it isn't really blood. Where's the dark coming from? That's what I'm saying this for. It's like, spooky. This is not as consistent as the blue is. Alright, so maybe the propeller is going to have to be the last part, because that's the bit I'm going to hold on to. Maybe these bits on the side. What part am I going to hold these things for? What colour am I going to paint them? I don't know. Alright. Okay, this is... How long has this taken so far? 10 minutes. I can't do a long video, so we might just have to... Well, since I want to make a lot of short videos, we'll just make 2 videos out of this. Painty. We've got to get the wings done at least. But if I get the wings done, then I'll be like, oh, well, that's most of it. You can just finish it off. And that's the problem, right? That's where everything goes wrong. You want to get things done quickly, and then you end up doing the major part, and then it's all downhill. I'm going to have to blow my nose soon. Alright, I didn't quite match that one up, but that's fine. Big blob of paint, everything's fine. Everything can be fixed with a big blob of paint. If there's one thing I've learned in life, it's that lesson. We should all remember that. Hold on, it's coming. Hopefully you couldn't hear that, but I strongly suspect you could. Alright, maybe I should not... I don't know which is the best way to hold this. Well, I can put it... Oh, I don't know. Because you want this part done. I mean, when you want this part here done perfect. So you're going to be looking at this plane front on, doing your... what's that movie? North by Northwest reenactment, which I haven't actually seen yet. I have it on DVD. It's like sitting there. It's like, you've got to watch this. It's a classic movie. Yeah, I have a pile of classic movies I have not got around to watching yet, including that Douglas Sirk one, which I've forgotten the name of. That's not all that heaven allows. Yeah, I'll watch it soon. I have to. I'm sick. What else do you do when you're sick? You watch movies from the 50s. I'm sure of it. That's what the doctor always prescribes. That could be like the new, like, you know, alternative medication thing. It's like the conspiracy to stop you watching television or classic movies. I am pretty sure I watched Singing in the Rain while sick. It has happened at some point. Right. And there we go. There we go. Oh, actually, I was watching Mary Poppins last night. I'm halfway through it. It's a long film, isn't it? My gosh, it's like over 2 hours. Who would have thought they would have made such a long film? Like, I'm not talking about the recent one. I'm talking about the original. Like, I will watch the recent one, but I thought, like, well, I think I want to watch the original first. And I'm sure I have watched it when I was a kid, of course, but I honestly can't remember a thing about it. Well, other than the songs, everybody remembers those. And that there's penguins in there, and I've seen the penguin scene, so I know where the penguins fit in. It's a bit wacky, And I'm going to be honest, I felt bad because I thought Julie Andrews had died a long time ago, but I'm thinking of the person from, what's her name, from Wizard of Oz, who's, I've completely forgotten her name. It's like, I can't believe that. I'm going to try and remember by the end of this. Who's the woman in Wizard of Oz? Come on, that can't be hard. This I don't know what's going to happen here. It's going to have to be red. But because what else? What else can we put there? It does look kind of horrific so far. Is there is a biplane in Sound of Music, Sound of Music. Julie Andrews. But anyway, no, in Wizard of Oz. But I don't know, Julie Andrews. I've completely forgotten everything now, haven't I? I don't know what I'm talking about. I do. But there is at the beginning, because like it's caught in the storm. So, or am I just imagining? I just imagine that if you have like a tornado, there's going to be a biplane nearby that's going to get caught, and it's like out being crop dusting or something, and it's like, oh no, it's a hurricane. Tornado, can't call it a hurricane. That's not the same thing. And you can't call it a cyclone because that's a entirely different hemisphere. Man, science is crazy, right? I still have tornadoes around here. There's not like a southern hemisphere version of those. Which is good because then it's just getting a bit too crazy. Right. I have to say that the fact that the weather forecast currently at the moment is for pretty much fine days is good, because I don't think with my current health travelling by bicycle in the rain is going to make me happy. I think the problem is the reason I don't heal up very fast. Okay, I'm going to finish this wing, and then we're going to call it quits because I'm going to come back and do this tomorrow. Is that? Oh no! Don't turn up. So I've got a bottle in my legs, and bottle in my legs. I've got a bottle in my legs. I've had it since the war. No, I was holding a bottle with my legs, and it just flipped upside down. And then you're like, oh no, the lid's not on properly. This is going to be bad. But anyway, as I was saying, because the problem with me getting sick is that I don't really take time off work. I did take yesterday off, and at the moment I can't really do it much anyhow. It's just one of those days when everyone's sick and it's all going wrong. And you're like, well, if I just took 2 or 3 days off, I'd be sweet. This wouldn't be a problem. But no. So I do feel like I have to kind of do maybe the wheels. No, I can't really do the wheels. I feel like I should do something at the bottom, so that I've got something to hold on to that's already been painted next time. So, like, the fact that I'm actually I didn't really be holding on to it at all. It's held up pretty well. Like, maybe I can hold on to this next time. So maybe I should paint this, and then I can hold on to it when I'm painting everything else. That's probably a good plan. So what colour should we paint this? I think yellow is the only logical choice. So we'll paint this yellow, and then that way it can dry, and then I've got something to hold on to when I do the rest of it. Other than the fact the body and all the bits that I've already painted. But it's like, oh, I've got red in there now, so it's going to be, this is not working at all. Like yellow was a bad idea. It's not really yellow. I think it's going to look yellow in the daylight. Oh dear. There's a bit of paper stuck on the bottom where I glued it there. Very, very clever of me, if I do say so. And I can paint the last little bit, I think, once it's dry. That should be fine. Because you don't have to do the whole thing. So there's like a little bit in there where it's meeting up. Well, that can wait. Ah, gosh. Almost. I should probably paint the yellow. I was going to paint the wings. If I was going to paint the wings yellow as well, then I probably should paint the top part red, and the wings. This should be yellow, and so this wing is going to be yellow, and that wing is going to be red, and this wing should be yellow, and that should be red. If you get what I'm talking about, and I think we all are. I think we're all on the right page. I'm going to put a lot of paint on this, so much so that it's almost embarrassing. People will write into the editor saying, "Oh, I can't believe what he did. I blushed when he did that. It was a bit over the top. Really should have some more manners." Okay, and that can go. Well, it's probably okay to mix the yellow with the red. That sounds terrible. It's like a comedy show. Alright. Maybe that was a bad idea. Red's a little bit intense. It's going to meet the yellow, but we'll just do it down there. There's a bit of a gap. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to stick this, because it's going to just stick to the piece of paper again. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Well, I'm glad I did this. I was like, just go to sleep. You need to have as much sleep as possible. But I can still go to sleep and have an early night, because I did start this a bit early. Which I should not pay attention to, because then I'll be like, oh, I can finish the whole thing. Alright, well, I'm going to leave it there, and we're going to come back to it. So far, it looks okay. Like the one thing I like about this model, I feel like I sound like I'm going to just burst into tears any minute. The one thing I like about this, that's not me, this is me blowing my nose, it's not me actually about to cry. The one thing I like about this model, I'm going to say that for the third time, is that it feels like you could just get some wood out of it. Like it inspires you to do actual sort of carpentry of your own, because you just feel like you could get bits of wood and you could cut them out with a coping saw. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you can make it. Just inspires you the idea. Like if you had a drill and a coping saw, which I certainly do, and some bits of wood, then you could just draw some pictures and cut them out and then put them together, and kind of like this, and with glue, and this sort of makes me feel like, oh, that would actually work. What, really? And so, in that sort of sense, even though it doesn't look too great, but I think it's going to turn out better than the front. Like I think they're just being honest. Don't get your hopes up high. So here's a picture that doesn't really get your hopes up at all, and then you'll be pleasantly surprised, because it will come out looking a lot better than you thought, and that's quite nice, you know, instead of doing like some perfect model on the front that's just never going to happen. You get something a bit more. So if I put it like that, hopefully it won't get glued to anything. But yeah, so after this, I might just think of something wacky to make out of wood, and do some chopping and build it and see if it works, and just put some nails in there, doing it properly. I'm just going to screw things in, to tell you the truth. I think like nails always scare me. I just don't get how they work, like what's holding them in. Like I know it's pressure on the force on the side, but the point is, yeah, I've enjoyed this so far. So thanks for watching, and like, share, and subscribe.